Hello everyone, welcome back to Molly's Cozy Kitchen. Today we will be taking a look at overnight cinnamon buns. This recipe comes from my culinary hero, Alton Brown. Let's get started. You're going to start with 1 whole egg and 4 egg yolks. As you can see, I'm only using 2 egg yolks. That's because I'm making a half recipe, but I'll be describing for a full recipe. You can just use the shell to separate the egg yolk from the egg white, or you can pour it all in the bowl and scoop it out in one. Depends on how much practice you have. Once you have all the eggs and egg yolks together, take a cute little whisk or a fork and whisk it all up. Now add the beaten eggs to a large bowl along with 3/4 cup of buttermilk, 1/4 cup of granulated sugar, 6 tablespoons melted and cooled butter. I prefer salted, but you can use unsalted if that's what you have. Then add 2 cups of flour, 1/4 teaspoons kosher salt, and 1 package or 2 1/4 teaspoons of instant dry yeast. Mix that up until it forms a sort of cohesive, sticky dough thing. It's not quite a dough yet because it's too loose. Alright, now add about another cup or 2 of flour. As you can see, I'm using the spoon method because we do not want to pack our flour in too tight. And mix it. Now once an actual dough is formed, you can see that's a dough. Liberally coat your work surface with flour and knead the dough for about 5 minutes. If you're using a stand mixer, you can use the dough hook attachment, but I don't have one, so I'm just using good old-fashioned elbow grease. For about 5 minutes, then place in an oiled bowl and cover and let it rest for 2 hours. Let's make our filling. Start with 1 stick of melted and cooled butter and add 1/2 cup plus 1 tablespoon of packed brown sugar. I like dark brown sugar, but you can use light. Then add about a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. You can add more if you really like cinnamon. I know I do. And mix it up until a smooth, creamy, delicious smelling paste forms. Lightly grease your baking vessel. I do it over the sink so it doesn't get my counter dirty. And now let's make the cinnamon buns. Gently roll out your dough into a large rectangle. You may need to make your rectangle a bit smaller if your baking vessel is not as big. Then spread on your delicious cinnamony filling. You can use your hands, an offset spatula, or a spoon, depending on the consistency of your filling. Yeah, I had to make more filling. I gave you the exact measurements that you will need, but I ended up having to make more. Alright, now that we're back, finish filling that up. Leave about a 1/2 inch of space at the top so you can pinch it shut. And roll up your delicious cinnamon sugary dough roll. It's so satisfying. I love the way it feels and smells. Baking is wonderful. This is the length that you would need if you were making about 12 rolls. I'm going to make 9 because that's the size of my vessel. So I'm going to shorten my roll a bit. And then use a serrated knife to slice but not smush your roll. You want to have that pretty spiral just in there. Divide your dough roll up. Look at that spiral. And now arrange it into your baking vessel. Mine fit 9, but if you use a more rectangular pan, you will fit 12. Cover with saran wrap. And let it rest in the fridge overnight or up to 16 hours. Alright, now that it's morning, take your buns out of the fridge and place in an oven that's off. Then fill a shallow pan about 2/3 the way full of boiling water. Then place the pan underneath the buns in the oven and let them rise. Then take the buns out and preheat the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Once the oven is ready, bake the buns for about 30 minutes. Let's make our frosting while the buns bake. In a large bowl or the base of your stand mixer, add a 1/4 cup of softened cream cheese and beat until nice and soft. Scrape down the sides and the whisk attachment, or the beaters if you're using a hand mixer like I am, and add 1 1/2 cups of powdered sugar, 3 tablespoons milk, and about a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract. I absolutely love vanilla. I add it to everything. Now beat that until it forms a smooth, sweet paste. Don't forget to scrape down the sides of your bowl. We want to make sure that everything is nice and incorporated. And then beat again and set aside until ready to use. Take the buns out of the oven and trust me, they smell heavenly. Now let them cool a bit so you don't burn yourself. and then take a delicious bun, plate it up with plenty of frosting, and let's see what my brother thinks of them. He's a huge dessert fan, and so it is no surprise that he gives them a big thumbs up. These were delicious. My family devoured them. If you like this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click that bell for notifications. You can check out my recipes at mollyscozykitchen.com, and thank you for stopping by.